When you hit your target, you get more confident. You learn that is one of the marks that you're make complete on. If you set your target the right way, you'll be able to hit it as very often throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and the year. And that is going to contribute to you to the goals that you want to accomplish long term. What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Kiiza, let me ask you a question. When is the last time that you hit your target? Because that is the topic that we're talking about today.
Hitting your target. Ideally, it should be something we can achieve every day, right?
Man, I've been spailing my target for the last weekend.
Well, hopefully those spinning of tire experiences can actually give us more clarity so that the next time we take a shot at the target, we hit the bullseye.
Today, we're going to talk about targets. We're going to help you learn how to set the target correctly and how to find the right tools and vehicle to help you get your target.
Yeah, the target is a fundamental piece because it gives you that clear trajectory. It lets you know whether you're on track or off. And that's ideally the number one thing you need to know in order to gauge your own progress forward. But yeah, let's talk more about the target. So I'll ask you first, what got you started when you learning about the target?
So I think target is short-term marks that you are setting for yourself, oftentimes preferred numerically, so that you can hit that numbers. Here's an example. If you like writing, which I do like writing, I often write newsletters. I set the goals for myself. Can I write 1 page a day and just hit the publish on that newsletters? That's one form of target. If you're in school, can you set targets that you can hit every day? Because when you hit your target, you get more confident. You learn that is one of the marks that you're make complete on. If you set your target the right way, you'll be able to hit it as very often throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and the year. And that is going to contribute to you to the goals that you want to accomplish long term.
And giving you that ability to see your long-term goals and hit them by giving you a clear target, it actually boosts your motivation, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does boost your motivation. What is it? What is the upcoming target that you have, man?
Well, one target that I have for myself is something called the one thing, which is directing the majority of my effort in the creation of effective tools and systems that support the one thing. So that's a target that I have. Aligning my energies, activities, and daily progress towards big domino, making sure that knocking that one thing down, that would make everything else either irrelevant or obsolete, or basically just complete the majority of the task with just one of the big dominoes that needs to fall. So all the other things that would come after will be considered small potatoes. So that's something that I have as a target. What about yourself? What targets do you have?
So I want to continue to publish more articles. That's what the goals that I set for myself. I'm trying to get to the 100. Every time that I do something, I try to make it to the 100 first. If I can write 100 articles and publish on my newsletters, that's one of the targets that I want to accomplish. And throughout the way, you will learn many skills that you built from success and failures that allows you to do better the next time. Right? And there's going to be failures along the way when you're trying to go to hit the target. You know, the first time that you throw that dart, it will not hit the bullseyes. But if you keep throwing it again, because the failures in before allows you to hit that again, make that next throw until you hit that target.
Exactly. And in fact, I'll give you a quick story about what Ricky just said and why it can actually motivate you to become a better entrepreneur. Many of you have probably heard about a guy called Russell Brunson. Now, many of you don't know that early on in his career, he wasn't as successful as he is today, but he had a target. He wanted to make $1 million. And you can imagine the first time that he was exposed to this possibility, he said, okay, I'm going to do it in a year. Admittedly, he didn't make it the first year. The second year got a little bit closer. The third year, I think he actually hit it on the third year, but that was what motivated him to keep going. He had a clear target, and every single year he made consistent progress towards it. So if he didn't have that target, every year he wouldn't even know if he was closer or further away. Now, this is part of the real value of understanding your target. Would you say that it also gives you the ability to manage your expectations as well, Ricky?
So to build my accountability, I know that every day there has to be some form of one-page production within my newsletters, within my outreach or network with the people that I want to learn from. Let's say you're a learner and you're in the process of learning something, either marketing, business, sales, promotion. Your target can be how many materials that you can consume or absorb within that same day, in what form, in what media. And if you can set that record for yourself and you hit that, that builds confidence.
And that confidence builds more motivation, which ultimately drives you closer to your target. The systems work together.
Exactly. And here's one thing that I learned from one of the business mentor lately is that whenever that you feel down, like when you wake up in the day and you feel like, I'm not feeling like I'm going to get out of my bed and doing something, or when you're sitting on your desk and you have that feeling, it's because you forget that you have a target. Imagine if you set the target and putting in front of you, and every time that you feel lost and you see that reach numbers, it can motivate you to start doing something. It doesn't matter what you're going to do at that time, but because you have a target, it allows you to be able to move forward and accomplish that. You know,
Exactly. The target kind of gives you that boost of confidence because you know what you're going after.
exactly. So here's my question to Kiiza. When you pick a target, what is one thing that you remind yourself so that when you hit your target, you still not feeling you're beating yourself down?
That's a great question. Going back to someone who I've learned a great deal from, they talk about the journey of success and they talk about enjoying the process. And oftentimes, when entrepreneurs choose a target, they don't often factor in the experience of going after that goal. So I would call that the second layer target. And that second layer target is not only having a numerical value that you're targeting, whether it's $1 million or 100 sales calls, it's also recognizing what kind of individual you're going to be on the process and what kind of people you want to serve, because that gives you a sense of satisfaction beyond just the money you might make or just beyond the success of your business. That's what I would say gives me a sense of satisfaction and motivation and peace of mind as I'm coming up with my target and making progress towards it daily.
You surround yourself with the right people. Hey, I hope I'm the right person for you, man.
Absolutely. I mean, the craziest thing is that the learning opportunities that we have going forward as entrepreneurs it's a mutual exchange of understanding, value, and ideas. So once you find someone who understands your goals and is willing to work with you and you understand their goals and you're willing to work with them, that to me is a foundational piece. A level of understanding and a willingness to help and serve one another. If you can find people like that who can partner with you on your journey towards your target, or even help you troubleshoot your target, that is what I would call a very solid layer two. I don't want to call it a layer two target, but supporting piece that allows you to enjoy your success along the way and also not get frustrated in the process. So if I was going to make an image of that, let's call this the actual numerical target, whatever it's 100 something dollars, sales calls, clients, contracts. And then what supports that are the people you work with. So then this is your level 2. And this is all about the people. So I'll call that, I'm not going to be able to fit the word people in there easily, but the people that you work with is basically the scaffolding. It's the foundation. It's the metal rods that allow your target not only to be reached, but also for you to enjoy the process. And I'll give you a perfect example of what this looks like on the opposite side. I know a business owner who actually started a very successful oil company when he was in his 30s, and that company grew to making over $1 million in profit. However, the people this individual was working with didn't have the same long-term mindset about this oil business. So the moment they hit their $1 million, out of the 5 partners who built this company from scratch, only one of them wanted to keep growing. The rest of them wanted to sell and take their money to the bank. And guess what happened? Obviously, with a company like that, when you have 1 compared to 5, majority rules. So they sold the company. Everybody walked away with their own slice of that $1 million in takeaway money. And the company, all their work for 3-4 years was not necessarily dissolved, but the possibility of future growth was lost just because even though the target was reached, the supporting people in this oil company, oil refinery company, I should specify, didn't have this, the supporting beams weren't aligned. So if you're a young entrepreneur, or even if you're an existing business owner, and you're only focused just on this first layer, you're putting yourself in a little bit of an odd situation long term, because, and it might also be putting yourself in a situation where even if you reach that target, possibility of you maintaining and enjoying the process could be hindered. So what we're encouraging you to do is keep in mind the supporting people, the partnerships, the connections, and really the lifestyle that you want to have as you make your way towards whatever target you're trying to hit.
If you haven't have a target at the moment, make sure you can do the same thing as Kiiza is doing, which is to pull out the piece of paper or the whiteboard, write down your targets. I encourage you to do it in numerically and start hitting that and getting that out the list. You will see that your motivation will change, the confidence will change.
And your state of mind will be much more focused, because as Ricky said before, when you don't have a target, you're living in the land of confusion. It's sort of like a student who doesn't even know what kind of grade they want to get in the class. Any grade will do. But once you have the target, if you're ever down, if you're ever motivated, if you're ever losing motivation, if you're ever confused, you just have to remind yourself, what am I aiming for? And that aiming process will allow you to clarify what needs to be done. And if you have a tracking system, even better, and that will give you the ability to readjust every time you don't hit the bullseye. As Ricky said, targets are important, and they are crucial to your success as an entrepreneur in whatever endeavor you're choosing.